hello, and welcome to Beacon Hills, where the nights are long, the werewolves are pretty, and it didn't rain this week.
No bingo for you!
I'm Lilith, and joining me, as always, is your other co-captain.
Hi, this is Dawn. Love to have you back here. We are talking about episode 505 today. That would be a novel approach, and it really just had to do with the book.
It wasn't a novel approach at all. They changed.
I liked it a lot, so...
Well, we can talk about that in just a few. There's really no Teen Wolf news other than the fact that people were really going on and on about the creature that from the Summers contest. It was awesome. I was kind of bummed that it wasn't a bigger role. Shot my theory to hell, so...
Teen Wolf does that.
Yeah. But there is some good news that we can talk about when we get to the review part. So let's just get to it. So let's go with previously on Teen Wolf.
Previously on Teen Wolf, AP Biology was renamed Plot Device. Chimeras were divined twice. Styles and Dawn fell asleep. Kira almost beheaded Scorpio. Theo set Psycho on Styles, who used his palm mouth to bite him. That's what happened previously on Teen Wolf.
Well, okay. Well, this episode was directed by Tim Andrew. It was written by Angela L. Harvey, who I actually know what she looks like now. Because she was on Watch. And no, she was on the commercials in between when they were talking about the creatures this week. So...
very cool.
Another face to the name.
I didn't pay attention.
Interesting commercials for a change. It wasn't Ant-Man. So yeah, the synopsis, I actually agree with the Teen Wolf Wikia, and I feel justified in using the press release summary. The pack enters Icon House in order to learn more about the Dread Doctor. So it's like actually a perfect summation. Because that's the only thing that's important.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that's the only important thing that happened.
I think that a lot of very important things happened in a short amount of time, and a lot of non-important things happened in a long time.
Agreed. So let's get into the recap and start with our 5 favorite scenes.
All right. I am just going to lay it on the line here. Everything is Styles for me in this episode. Everything.
Big shocker, Dawn.
Other stuff happened, but it didn't matter. So I did dig down deep and made sure that not every single scene was specifically Styles and only Styles. It has Styles and other people too. So... but in my opinion, the first 12 minutes of this episode were by far the best thing that have happened this season. And it's the best thing that happened in Teen Wolf since 3B. So almost everything has to do with that. My favorite scene of all of them is actually Styles breaking down in the Jeep. And I know that most people liked the kill part better, but for me, it was all about the acting in the Jeep. I'm going to mention it in the moments. I'm going to mention it basically everything we've got. For me, the absolute single best thing that happened in this episode was when Styles caught his reflection in the rearview mirror. And he looks away and then looks back and looks away again and then looks down completely out of guilt. It was one of the best acting I've seen. There was 0 words in it, and it was just brilliantly done by Dylan O'Brien.
I know what my favorite scene was. I'm going to say when Lydia goes over to Styles's and they're discussing whether or not he's going to come to Icon House with them. And they're talking about the orderly. And he's like, see, we both survived. There's safety in numbers. I'm coming. And I'm like, finally, they figured it out.
That is my number 4. I agree. I think that both Styles and Lydia, or basically Dylan and Holland, knocked it out of the park. I think that they work very well together. They seem to be able to take cues from each other, and it's the little bits in that scene that really work for me. I'm going to talk a little bit more about those in moments, but I love how they're both so in tune with each other. And they're both really, it's basically, hey, we're a team, we're going to be a team. I don't care what you think. And she's like, well, if you're sick, I don't want you to put yourself in danger. It just worked very, very well. I thought it was a great example of their friendship and an even better example of why these two need to be on screen together more often.
Okay, you summed it up. Plus, it was also funny on top of that.
Yeah, it was smart. It was just really, really smart. And these two were super smart in this scene and not so smart in the other scenes.
Well, it's Teen Wolf.
It's exposition.
Again, it's
So,
Teen Wolf.
my number 2 scene is Styles on the scaffolding, accidentally killing Psycho. I thought that was very well done. I like how he's reaching up and reaching up for it. I like how it visually looks at the end. I don't for 1 minute believe that he would be propped up like that. Seriously, people, really? But it did make for a great visual.
My next favorite scene is where we see Kira copying the Dread Doctor book. And then like she leaves and then she turns around and says, I'm sorry, and I'm like, for what? And then you see the librarian putting the audit ink sign on
That is in my best moments. I love that moment because that's exactly what I'd be doing. I'd be giving her the side eye, the evil eye, the glare.
it. We have like a 10-page limit.
No librarian would let them copy those many copies of a book anyway because it violates copyright, but
Really?
Yeah, I thought it was hilarious. Oh, absolutely. You can't copy an entire book.
I once did that with one of the encyclopedias.
Yeah, no. You can't even copy most of a book. There's a limit to what you can copy, even under fair use, and it's not the whole thing. And certainly not multiple copies of it. Believe me, I tell teachers this all the time.
A PSA from your friendly librarian.
Don't violate copyright. Number 3 is like just a litany of what happened in the first 10 minutes. I'm telling you, that's my favorite part. Number 3, Styles breaks down at the murder board. Again, I think that the reactions are fantastic. I love how his whole body is a movement back and forth, and it's almost like what's happening in his mind is being shown out through his body. I can't say enough about Dylan O'Brien's acting in this. I think he was phenomenal.
My next favorite scene, even though it's Malia with Theo, it's when she's driving and she finally figures it out. So like, yay for me! I finally nailed one damn thing about season 5.
If Theo wasn't in the car, that would have been one of my favorites too. But then he had to go ruin it by saving her life, and I'm like, oh, go away, please.
Dude, my crack theory is that Malia, Jackson, and Theo are all Peter's kids. It's like the unholy trinity.
Oh, I hope that Theo isn't related because then we can't kill him. He needs to die. He really needs to die. All right. Let's see. I already said 4, so I'm gonna go with Scott heroes out with Kira. He like put on his alpha power. He almost practically had a cape swinging. He's lifting with that hawk, strength. It was good to see Scott being his true alpha self.
You're really stretching it there, Dawn, aren't you? Did you actually like that, or are you just trying to not be on Styles? Because I hated that. And I'm like the biggest Scott fan there is, and I hated it.
Personally, I actually like the moment before that better, but I do think that Scott should get some kudos in this also.
I mean, that's just classic Scott, though. It's like, I think people take that for granted, so maybe you're right.
Yeah. I just think that there's a lot of development of Lydia right now. Styles is getting phenomenal work to work with. Well, Dylan O'Brien is. um, and I think that this was Scott's big moment, and I think that it worked for me. Was it my favorite? Absolutely not. Everything Styles is a favorite, but I think that we have to give him credit for when they actually let him be a true alpha. And they don't let him be a true alpha very often. I mean, seriously, he got thrown in a wall last time, and Liam, the super special snowflake puppy, and Kira, the ninja warrior, were the two that took down Scorpio. So I like when they allow him to let his strength shine through too.
Okay, fair enough. Uh, I'm gonna go with when Lydia, Styles, Kira, and Scott are down in the basement going to see Valak in the cell, and then all of a sudden the guard goes, "You didn't think you all were gonna go in there, did you?"
I gotta tell you, he's like one of my favorite extras that we've had. I consider him an extra because I don't think he's coming back. But he had some of the best lines. He reminds me of a supernatural sheriff.
Yep. Kids with their texting and their murder.
I mean, he was just fantastic. He's going to be one of my moments. And I just think that it's so funny. So because you were only on for a short amount of time, but you made a big impression. No, sorry, it's my turn. I'm sorry, I'm trying to look at tweets and do this at the same time. It's not working for me. All right. My last one is actually one that I do have some trouble with as well, but it's the bromance scene. When Scott and Styles are talking about self-defense being a legitimate thing, basically. um, and so I do have a problem with the fact that it is so completely set up to be contrived drama. And I'm not a fan of contrived drama in my bromances. Um, but I do think that it showed the differences in where they're coming from and their psyche really well. Because while they're best friends, they're an awful lot different. They've got a lot of things that are same. I mean, they're both loyal, they're both courageous, they both need to actually follow the rules sometime. But they have significant differences between them, and I thought that this was a good way of doing it. I'm not a fan of this lying is the new theme. Lying is the new
Teen Wolf,
money
the
woes
new
this season.
Supernatural.
Exactly. I'm especially not excited about it after Styles told Liam that keeping secrets was always bad and it was better when everybody knew. So, thank you, hypocrite. But I do think that it did a good job with it. I like the interplay between them. And as it is the only scene in which they are both on scene together, it's nice. I would like to have more Scott and Styles time, if you don't mind, Jeff Davis.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I can't argue with, yeah, I'm more freaking Scott and Styles. It's the foundation of the show. He's admitted it many times, but yet, here we are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, one of my favorite scenes is a Styles scene. It actually should kind of technically be a moment, but I don't know. It was like he was running through the high school at night with a wrench instead of a bat, so he's downgraded, or no, I'd say that's an upgrade because it's metal and it won't break to pieces.
That is
Very
true.
classic Teen Wolf in a good way. I liked it. I liked the visuals of it. It was dark, but you could actually still see lots of light through the
Mm-hmm.
windows.
Very true. That was a nice change. That doesn't happen very often, so yeah, we
We have to
have to
praise
get
it. Let
going
them
there.
know that's what we want.
Yes. We like when we can see, and most importantly, I like when my screen caps aren't so dark that people can't see them on the recap. Just saying.
Yeah, I hate having to fiddle with the exposures and stuff. It's annoying.
Yeah, I don't do that. I
He's
just
like,
put it in and
I
say,
just throw it in.
I throw it in and say squint. It's not my fault. Blame Jeff Davis.
Well, that brings us to lines. I know you probably have plenty. I only have a few.
I don't have very many.
Oh,
And that's because for me, I think that this episode, similar to Kira, is better when it doesn't talk.
yeah, I
so,
agree with you on that.
so most of the stuff that I really loved had zero dialogue, or at least zero dialogue from people that I actually cared about. Not you, Psycho.
Oh, well, it's funny
um,
that you say that because, like, my favorite line, because I am, well, I used to be really, still kind of am obsessed with Tesla, so that's like my
mm,
favorite line of the night, and it came from Balak.
yeah, Psycho to me is Donovan, so
Oh, okay.
I didn't care a thing about what he said.
Oh, yeah. Oh, tragic backstory. No one cares.
Yes. I was like, why are you wasting my time when I could be looking at Styles reacting? Come on, let's go. Shut up. Let's get this thing going. Number one for me on best lines, Styles. You are not going without me. You remember what happened to Deaton when he talked to Valak? Lydia. Scott and Kira are going to be there. Styles. Okay, I'm not letting you go to a place where one of the orderlies almost killed you. Lydia. He almost killed you too. Styles. And we're both still alive. See? Teamwork. That's my favorite line, possibly of this season.
Like I said, my favorite line of the episode comes from Valak, and he talks about if you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. And again, finally, we're getting to the currents and the damn nematine and the repercussions of those actions. Yes,
We called telluric currents.
you
We
totally
called that
did.
earlier. So yeah, we were right on that one. So I'm just going with a yes. Finally, there's a reason for them to be in Beacon Hills because otherwise, there's zero reason for them to be in Beacon Hills.
Other than that, they
I
want to be a part of the I Love Scott McCall fan club.
don't think they love Scott McCall. I think they want to destroy Scott McCall.
We'll see how this turns out. They might be singing the songs of Scott as well, joining old Demon Wolf.
Oh, I do think that they think Scott is super special. I just think they're going to kill him for it. Or try to. Obviously, they won't succeed. Here we go. Number two. I only like this because I agree. Scott, I don't think the Dread Doctors are the ones who are stealing the bodies. Kira, are we really calling them that?
Yes! Oh my
No.
God.
No, we're not, because it's a stupid name. Thank you, Kira.
Yes, I had that on my list at the bottom as well.
I am sorry, but I am never calling them Dread Doctors except in quotes. Because they will always be the steampunk scientists to me. I think that describes them better. They're not doctors. What the heck?
Same Jeff Davis. Scott. They're not the bad guys.
apparently,
Oh, what?
apparently, I need to blame Triclops. He's the one who wrote the darn thing. Seriously, buddy, get a better title.
Oh, yeah. He should have seen that coming. Boom, boom.
Boom. I like that.
Scott, they're not the bad guys, they're the victims. We shouldn't be killing the people we're trying to save. Like the look on Styles' face just broke my heart, but it's such a Scott thing to say, and gotta have a Scott line in there.
I had a Scott line. So see, I did it too. Yeah, I think that is very Scott. I think that it was a good point, and most importantly, I think that both of them make a good point.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't for 1 minute think Scott's going to blame Styles for killing Psycho. I just don't. So, it's a bit moot, and if Styles would, open his mouth and communicate what's going on, we won't be in this mess in 2 episodes. But I did think that was smart. As a matter of fact, that was part of my next one, starting with, I also think I might have stopped her from killing Lucas. I liked that whole interchange between them. I thought it was smart.
That he's not telling
And I
it to
thought,
Kira.
Yeah, I have a real problem with secrets. I swear, they are the money woes of this season. Coming out of nowhere, doing stupid things that they know that they shouldn't be doing, and talking about it every 20 seconds. I get it. Secrets are bad. Can you please tell them? Actually, they get it. They're just not doing it.
That awkward
I
moment
don't
when
get it.
T Wolf
Ugh.
turns into Arrow and everybody's a hypocrite.
Oh, it was just sad. I was like, really? Really? Just stop. It was exactly like Money Woes, actually. I said that too. So that was my number
Okay.
3. I agree.
Another Scott line, but really for Kira here. You know, Lydia used to pretend not to be smart, and Kira goes, "Our Lydia."
That's one of my favorite moments, specifically for her response. I'll talk about that a little bit later, but yeah, I thought that was pretty good too. Um, Number 4 for me. Theo, haven't I seen you coming out of driver's ed? Malia, I hope not, which I loved, by the way. Theo, I'm pretty sure I saw you destroy a couple traffic cones the other day and nearly take out a sophomore. Malia, the sophomore shouldn't have been standing there. I'm sorry, she still cracks me up. Like, all right, whatever. You go, Malia, with your bad driving. And then I wanted her to take out Theo with her bad driving, too. Just saying.
Okay, my next one is Valak and Styles. Valak, just hit record. It'll cost you nothing. He's like, Styles is like, that means you want something, so you're gonna have to give us something first.
Ah, yeah, and it was the first time they were smart in that whole
It wasn't
exchange.
like the Gerard situation. I was like, yes, they're learning.
Yes.
They're growing.
Woohoo! We got some brains going. Yay! Ugh, craziness. Let's see. My next one, Styles. Leah's not going because she knows that place is a nightmare asylum of insanity and death. That is my favorite description of Icon House yet. So very true.
They should
So
put
very,
that in
very
the
true.
brochure.
Probably. Let's put that on the gate. All ye who enter here.
Oh. Any
Oh.
more lines you want to share? I'm tapped out.
Um, this one's actually an award for me. So, but it's Kira. So if the chimeras are all failures, what's a success going to be? Scott, bad, probably really bad. That's the Thanks Deaton Award. Oh, buddy, or Captain Understatement if you'd like to go there. Captain Obvious, whichever. Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to moments.
I can tell you that I could talk for, I've got probably a list of 20 moments that I could talk about. So there are a lot of stuff that I liked as moments in this one. Number 1 for me is not Scott. Sorry. Number 1 for me is Styles looking in the rearview mirror. I just love the guilt and the just all of you can see everything that he's thinking on his face. And I thought that was beautifully shot, very well done. And I liked everything about it.
Let's see. My favorite moment of the whole entire episode is something that didn't even happen on screen. No Liam to be found. And it just
That's
flowed so
Lord.
much better without having to stop and dig holes and find random lacrosse players that have nothing to do with anything. It just felt so good. Or going to a gay bar with his best friend. Like, it just felt so good. Not to be stopped in the middle. Well, we got stopped in the middle for other things, but just not having to deal with that old stinky sophomore.
It's a total award for me. I'm telling you. I seriously, I gave that No Liam and Mason an award because it was nice.
Sorry,
I love
like
everything
Leo.
that.
Like, honestly, he's like Kira. It just like, okay, side plot, subplot. No, thank you.
Didn't care, still don't care, really don't care, turn down the damn music! That's pretty much what I think of Liam. Oh, yeah, I just cursed there. Oh, my goodness. Shouldn't do that. All right. Moving on. Number 2. Styles' whole posture changes when he realizes that Scott is worried about Kira. It takes him completely out of himself and his own worries, and now he's focused on best friend role. And I thought that was a great change.
Oh, I know. Creepy check-in orderly, right?
Creeper! Oh, yeah. Oh my. But the best part of that was when he was staring at Lydia and she's like looking down and
Styles,
Styles gives him the side eye.
it's like keep your eyes up here, Mister.
It's like, basically what I saw in that look was, we have already been here and done this and it's not happening again. So, I just really thought that was fantastic. All right. Number 3. Triclops quotes Peter Hale when he talks about them all being works in progress. Lydia
Which she
recognizes it,
shouldn't have,
and I.
because he said it to Derek and she was nowhere to be found. Just
Very true. That is true. But I love that they sort of kind of mentioned him, and it gives me hope that he might actually come back at some
But
point.
literally, the only thing that I kept thinking was, okay, we're in Eichenhaus. He was roommates with Valak. Where's Peter?
I thought that too. I'm hoping that they decided that he was able to change cellmates for good behavior. That's just my hope for him. He better not be dead.
Let's see. Oh, okay. When the Dread Doctors are coming and Scott is like, and Kira's like, powers are fritzing out, and he's like, what are we gonna do? I can't just leave her. And he's like, I can't.
That's one of my
Scooby Doo
favorite
style,
moments too.
out.
I loved it. I was cracking up. He is totally a sheriff on Supernatural. I was like, yeah, I want to see this guy again. That was super. And no doubt, it is just so fantastic that we got a humor break in the middle of that. Because it's all serious and all talk. And you're just like, yep, nope, see you later. I don't care for kids. You can die down here. I'm good. Man, do I love this. That was one of my favorite parts, too. All right, let's see. No, we already talked about Kira calling her our Lydia, which I thought was fantastic. And we talked about the librarian. Sorry. I also really liked how Styles shut off the headlights and reparked instead of squealing out of the parking lot. He's in a crisis, but at least he wasn't stupid about it. So I thought that was pretty good. And of course, I like everything that happens in that Jeep at that point, so that might be it too.
Is that the first time we got confirmation about him having a police scanner in his car, or no?
I don't think so, because I thought in season 2 he had it
I was
too.
confused. I was like, have we seen that before? I mean, it makes sense, obviously, but.
Yeah, I think that it was season 2 when we first saw it.
And we never saw it again until now, maybe.
Could very well be.
We don't spend a lot of time in Roscoe. I was almost like, is he going to become a freaking Toyota? He's going to be driving around in, what are those, the FJ8s or whatever?
Whatever their product placing this time, that everybody seems to have a new car, even though they just had an entire season about money woes. Yeah. Oh. All right. Do you have another one?
I love when they come in and snatch Valak's eye out. Third eye.
That was so creepy cool. That was fantastic.
Like, you don't have to
it was
do
just
this.
Like,
no.
It up.
I'm like, squirm, worm, squirm.
I thought it was fantastic, mostly because it brought in a horror element that we don't usually have a lot of in Teen Wolf. For a horror kind of show, it's not very horror-ish. So, for me, Lydia steps in front of the door when Styles tries to go with her. She knows that he is avoiding the issue, and she's just like, nope, not happening. Just steps right in front. I thought that was brilliant. It's another example of Lydia really knowing Styles, and I thought that it was fantastic.
Any more moments? I'm tapped.
All right, I'm just going to say them very quickly. Styles hesitates as Psycho dies. I liked how he had his hands on that bar. It reminded me a little bit of Styles and the Dark Styles and the sword blade with Scott. And I like the hesitation there. I also like that he didn't pull it out because then he would have killed him faster because, yes, emergency skills. Not really something we do in Beacon Hills. I do like Styles' reaction to the missing body as well. I like it when he steps away from this murder board and goes back over and over again. I like that Scott uses logic to figure out that someone else is stealing the bodies. That AP biology studying is really doing well for you, Scott. Keep going. Triclops 70 sweatband band-aids. I just laugh every time. One of the ones that I think a lot of people missed that I really liked, when Creeper is asking for their stuff at Eichen House, Scott looks over at Styles and they kind of both go, okay, yeah, we can do this before anybody does anything else. And I think that's a great example of their bromance again. I love that Scott asks Styles if he's okay. He realizes that something's up with his best friend. He's a little preoccupied with what's going on with his girlfriend right now, but he does notice it and he asks if he's okay. I love when either of them do that. When they all look back at the Eichen House gates when they swing shut and it's the overhead shot instead of the usually through the gate shot that they normally do, I thought that was fantastic. It was very foreboding, set the mood up really well. We already talked about that one. I also like when they realize that Scott and Kira can't go through, that Lydia looks back at Scott, and Scott assures her that they're going to be right there. I thought that was a great moment with him as a pack leader. I liked Styles' reaction to the Slua. I didn't follow all the fan stuff, but I did think that was really well done, very creepy. And I think that the fan that did that did a fantastic
She was
job.
a visual effects makeup, like she was training to be that. So I thought that was really cool, but
Right.
also kind of a stacked game at that point.
So yeah. I thought it was well designed, and I like the idea that MTV gave them the chance to do this. I thought that was a great idea for a contest. I loved when Scott tells Kira that Styles and Lydia don't have the same superpowers, but they always live through it. I thought that was nice that he gave them recognition, especially because they are the most human of the bunch. Now, obviously, Lydia's going to go super non-human in a little bit, but at that point, they are the most human, and I love that it's being recognized and that they're power together as a team, not just Lydia and Styles, but all of them, is being honored right as they're tearing down the whole pack. So I saw what you did, Jeff Davis. Loved Creeper's reaction to the steampunk scientist. It was like, back it up. This is not worth whatever they're paying me for.
Minimum wage, probably.
I was like, yeah, he knows when he's going to say, yeah. And I also love that Styles hesitates giving Lydia the tape recorder. But they also have these great moments where they're silently talking to each other, too. I like the moment when they grabbed hands as well. I thought that was very nice. I don't think that they are heading to lovers. Maybe they are. I don't know. But I think it shows that they're really good friends. And I like that a lot. And those are my favorite moments.
Now for the flip side, nitpicks, plot holes, burning freaking questions, because I know my biggest one. it left my head scratching, and I don't think that they're gonna.
Does it have to do with
Yes,
Lydia?
okay. Banshees are
Okay.
supernatural creatures. How did she get through the
Yes.
mountain ash? Mountain ash is useless. It
Yes.
is official.
Yes. And yes. And yes. Oh my goodness. And it's something that I put in my screen cap is or not my screen cap, my recap because it doesn't make sense within the canon. It's specifically designed to be there because of shipping, in my opinion. But we did have people who said, well, she doesn't change. And so if she doesn't change form, maybe Mountain Ash only works with those supernatural creatures that transform, which would be fine if we had ever heard that before. But we haven't. All we've heard from Deaton, who, granted, is a bad source
Any
for anything. But all he said is the supernatural. Mountain Ash needs to stop being used or they need to get a canon Bible because they change the rules all the time. People are acting like this is new. It is not new. So I think that they just really they need to make their canon tighter because right now that's where they're falling apart the most, even more than the wonky timeline at this
No, the
point.
timeline
Their
is still
canon
my
of what's
biggest
supernatural.
issue. I mean, it's Teen Wolf. I've just kind of grown accustomed to fan wanking it when I'm confused. And no, like, backup. Like, I scour through the Teen Wolf Tumblr. There's just no answers. And then I go to fan meta, and it makes more sense than the things that Jeff Davis has said. So I just kind of deal with it.
See, I think that it hasn't been as much of an issue now, the timeline has been, but I do think that the supernatural powers and what stops them and what doesn't stop them, and even what they are, has been so off the wall wonky that that is a huge problem at this point.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just
When
hard
Jeff
to.
Davis figures it out, we'll have a whole flashback issue dedicated to it. That's how he works it out. If you haven't noticed, he's like, I figured
I
it
think
out.
he already
Big episode.
see. I think he already did when he said had Deaton say the rules are not the rules anymore, and I went, and they ever
I was
were.
gonna say, what's new award?
Yeah,
Okay,
whatever.
I know you have nitpicks.
I have nitpicks. I always have nitpicks. All right. My biggest one is obviously Lydia going through the mountain ash. They need to do something about that. My biggest problem is actually Triclops and the whole interview of Triclops, which I know was a fan favorite part, but it's slow, it's uneven, and they repeat themselves 5 times. Seriously, they spent the entire episode getting nowhere because all he says is read the book, and they've already had the book. So he offers zero new information. He is the Deaton of this episode, and they ask all the wrong questions. I mean, seriously, these are the 2 smartest people on the show. Lydia is confirmed a genius, and we're pretty darn sure that Styles is close too. So, what the heck are they doing? I didn't need to know that they were scientists who, and I know you like the explanation, the Tesla explanation, but I didn't need to know that near as much as I needed the plot to move forward. And the plot does not move forward at all, except that Styles is dealing with guilt. Kira can't control herself, and the steampunk scientists are winning, which that's pretty much where we were before.
Yeah.
So nothing in this episode moved the plot forward except for the first 10 minutes. We already knew that we were going to, how do I say it? First off, we already knew Parrish was stealing the bodies, so that whole part was like, oh, good, you finally caught up with us. Valak says read the book 29 times in the episode. It all boils down to read the book that you already have, which why nobody even started reading the book, I don't understand.
Well, they were afraid of what the book might do, and I understand. I was like, it's kind of basically a tulpa almost at this point.
See, I don't think so. I think they need to read it. And I think that our speed reader, Lydia, probably should have read it already. So, and I do understand why they went right away and didn't wait until they read it, because then if somebody died in the meantime, they would feel guilty about it. But I do think that if we're going to spend an entire episode based on mood, because that's what this was, it was a mood episode, we should at least progress the plot a little bit too. And we haven't done that at all. And we're now at episode 5. That is halfway through this 5A. That's not giving us much time to wrap up all the loose ends, and we have a
But we
ton of
never
them.
wrap up all the loose
So,
ends. And I feel like maybe season 5 overall, because this is just one continuing arc, even though we're taking a break in between episode 10 and 11, it's still continuing this whatever happens at the end of this like mid season finale basically. So I feel like season 5 is definitely another bridge and transition season, but they're trying to connect all the stuff that they liked from the previous seasons and figuring out where they want to go after, because well the actors are aging out and all this other stuff. So that's the way that I'm just kind of looking at it, and so they have plenty of time since it's a single like arc of a season.
yeah, I don't like that at all. That is also a nitpick. It does so well with wrapping up, but I really, really, really would love to see that. I don't
Yeah,
know. So that is my second biggest nitpick of it. Do you have other
not
ones?
really. I mean, it's just classic Teen Wolf issues, you know. I don't feel the need to rehash any more of them other than to say this title of the episode, novel, me, the way that they were trying to play on words means a unique approach. Don't they have this confrontation every single season where they figure something out? They got literally the burning piece of trash or whatever. Sorry, they've got like the evidence and they go confront somebody and then they listen to a long-winded story. So how is this a novel approach other than to play on the words that this is like bad fan fiction come to life? Just
I don't think that it is as bad as that, but I do think that it is their exposition heavy episode, which is rather funny because episode 4 was their exhibition heavy exposition heavy episode. It feels like this whole season is more toppled that way, and I wish they'd have more action.
yes, you're telling me.
For me, yeah, for me, the other lowlights of this was too much emphasis on shipping. I don't care about if he said he loved her. I'm glad we got that over with, because it was being really, that passive aggressive thing does not look good on Kira. Um, and while I did not take much of the Styles and Lydia stuff, even the conversation with Scott and Kira, as a sign that those two were meant to be together and that they will be together for life, or whatever is going on over there. But I thought that it did, the hashtag especially pushed it,
Well,
and I didn't like
MTV and
that
their
at all.
stupid hashtags. They need to get a better. Well, I think it's the suits. It can't be the interns. The interns would know nobody likes long hashtags. And that's been the season of the
Very
longest
true.
hashtags ever.
Yeah, some that didn't need to happen. My other issues are Styles' room got an update, and I don't like it at all. It looks too much like a hotel. It's like the cleanest teen room I've ever seen in my life. There's abstract art on the walls. Where is his posters
He's
and
a
the stuff that
senior
makes it
though. Like I know.
Styles?
Well, actually, when I went from like 8th grade to 9th grade, I completely revamped my room, and then I did it again in my senior year too. So I don't know. It happens.
For me, it's the between senior and college that tends to happen. But for me, I also think that it has zero personality. It looks like a motel room, and they need to restyles
Well, I
it.
think that maybe because he's having all the stress and anxiety, that like a clean environment might help or something. Maybe is what they're trying to go.
Maybe, I don't know. I like Styles when he was Styles. I have issues with everyone lying, but I talked about that. All right. How does a psycho get a microphone recorder? They won't let anybody have a belt,
You don't want to
but
know
they
how he
have
got that in,
zero
Dawn.
problem
Don't
with
want to know.
recorder. I just find that. I mean, he's in the maximum of the maximum security, and seriously, he has a recorder. Whatever, go away. My biggest continuity problem, though, actually has to do with Malia. Okay? So now we know that Desert Wolf shot up the car and caused the car accident. And when we're in season 3 and they find the car, they're talking about all the claw marks. Did no one notice the bullet holes? Really? Really? What the heck, Teen Wolf? You can retcon all you want, but you need to make that retcon make sense. How do they not notice bullet holes, but they definitely see coyote scratches? Teen
Yeah,
Wolf.
basically. Okay. Are you ready for the grade?
I'm ready for the grade, but I'm not ready for Twitter right now.
That's okay because I still have a conspiracy theory, something to add to the wall of weird. So
Fantastic, because I'm just needing to finish up which one I'm going to highlight. I have them all down, but I need to narrow it down to 5. So, all right, for me, I actually went back and forth on the grade, probably more so than I ever do. And that is because I loved this episode in the first watch. I thought it was brilliant. I loved all the acting, and not just Dylan O'Brien. I thought Holland Roland did a fantastic job too. But in rewatch, especially on the third rewatch, a lot of the exposition got really tedious. So while it started off as an A minus for me, it ended up as a B plus for me. Mostly because, again, we got a fantastic open, we got a pretty decent ending, but the middle dragged on.
I mean, yeah, they've always had a this season especially has had a major issue with Act Two and where it plods. Like they need to get their pacing together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, it's like literally every single episode this season so far has had that problem.
Yeah.
For me, this is another C minus. There's no action. We're plotting. The Scott and Kira thing. It just I don't find any chemistry between the actors and the characters. Just don't make sense together to me. Like I just they don't bring out anything good in each other as far as I'm concerned. She stops him from studying. I'm just saying. She's a bad influence. She gave him the stumble stamble murmurs last season.
Yes, she did. That she did.
Just saying.
It was catching. It was bad.
I don't know. Like I like the character of Kira outside of Scott, and I just want to see more of that. And I like the character of Scott outside of Kira, and I don't think that he needed a love interest, especially so soon after Allison, and they just shoved it down our throats, and it has just been rubbing me the wrong way continuously, especially when they're better apart than they are together.
That they are, for sure. And it shows every time that they try to do an episode with them together, because she is always better with the girls. Always. And Scott tends to be less, how to say it?
Nerve wracking.
Wimpy.
Strong word there.
Just, yeah. That's probably not the best word. He goes all puppy dog every time he's with her, and it's just frustrating. We already have Liam taking up space. We don't need him doing the same thing too. He's the main character. For goodness sakes, let's not make him so wishy-washy when he's around his girlfriend.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that they've got some. For me, it's never chemistry because I think chemistry is very subjective. Some people see chemistry and when I don't, and I see chemistry sometimes when other people don't. But for me, it's do the characters get better when they're on screen together? And almost always in a shipping kind of way, it is not. It is never better. The only couple that has ever been better together was Styles and Malia last season. And other than that, most of the time when they get together, it's just like, and it's not just that. I thought Allison and
Oh
Scott were
God,
not better together
yes.
either.
I thought she was so much better without Scott. I loved her with Kate. Go figure.
I loved her with Lydia. I mean, she was just a kick butt hunter until she was a Scott. And then they decided to throw in all these teen tropes that the show doesn't need. So, I just haven't seen anybody with Scott that I like better with him than Styles.
I agree. And I mean, yeah, just basically.
Yeah,
Even
it
Scott and Isaac
doesn't
were
help
annoying,
him.
for goodness sake.
Yes, they were. They were, weren't they?
I'm just like cracking everybody's ship today. I'm so sorry. Just like, let me tell you how I really feel.
Well, and Teen Wolf just doesn't do shipping well, period. I mean, there are very few shows that do. Even shows that get lots of kudos don't do shipping well. Because I think shipping is hard to do well.
Shout out to Shondaland.
Mostly because... See, I don't even agree with that.
No, I was being sarcastic.
Oh, okay, good. So, all those doctors should stop screwing each other and help somebody.
It ain't the worst hospital in all of their region for no reason.
I didn't even know that, but it doesn't surprise me. So anyway, I just I think that the problem with putting characters together in a romantic relationship is that when they are together, that's all it's about. And I think that's a real mistake because when you've got Allison, a hunter, strong female role model, fairly smart usually. She does some dumb stuff. Yeah, but she's a teenager. And then you have Scott finding himself, the heart, the moral center, all around good guy. And they both have good storylines. And then you put them together and it's like, ew, this is our couple. And we have this Romeo and Juliet thing because my dad doesn't like him. It's like, seriously? What happened to my two strong, fantastic characters? Mm-hmm. Why did they fall apart every time they come together? And I think that's the same problem we have with Kira, because Kira should be focused on figuring out who she is. She even says to Mason that she doesn't know who she is. She's been this character for a year now. I mean, we did have that time jump, weird as it was. So she has a mom there who knows what she's going through because she went through the same thing. So how is it that Kira's entire role is to be the goofy girlfriend? Her role needs to be training to be a kick-butt warrior and figuring out what in the world her skill set is. And by making her just basically an accessory for Scott, which is what they did for a long time, they are killing this character who should be super fascinating. I love that Lydia is not in a relationship right now. God help us if she goes with Parrish. But I love that she's not in a relationship right now because we are suddenly, now that she's not screwing everybody and that's not her main character growth, she is learning to be a banshee and learning to protect herself. And she's far more interesting in this way than she was when she was slutting around with mysterious guy number 3. So, and it's not just the females that are getting screwed over by these shipping things. I swear, if they turn Malia into some freaking love triangle thing, I will kill my screen.
She's like, screw the socks, it's going to be a book.
Yes, because Malia is super fascinating. She's funny. She works well with everybody. For goodness sake, can we get her away from the psycho? And then get her with somebody
She's this
else? I don't
season's
care who they
Lydia
put her
from
with.
last season.
She is.
They just let
She
her
is.
wander
She's
around
always
late at
all by
night with
herself.
these supernatural creatures on the loose.
At least she knows that he's a werewolf, unlike Lydia in season 3. But, she is the Lydia at this point, and it feels like they're writing the character off, and I don't like that. I'm not excited about that. So I guess what I'm saying is that if you can manage to write a romance in which the characters are still awesome, then go for it. But if you can't, stop screwing around with my characters and let me have them back. Kira and Scott should not be on scene together until they can figure it out.
Agreed.
The end.
Okay, my conspiracy theory. I think that this episode proves that Deaton is evil and he's in on it with somebody, some big bad in Beacon Hills. He arranged for them to have a tour and an interview with Valak, knowing that Kira was a kitsune and that she might affect the defenses. I think he
Maybe.
knows way more, and
And here,
he's the one that told them to revive the Nematine. That was a super bad idea.
but the only way that they
I
thought they
don't
could
think
save them, because, they couldn't smell out their own parents in a werewolf kind of way.
exactly.
Because, werewolf powers are wonky and they didn't work that day.
The way he got kidnapped, quote unquote, it's just always left so many questions. And every time it's like they get, it's just like every time somebody says something about Deaton, it just raises red flags and more questions in a way that no other character on the show does.
I agree. Except that I will say that we don't know that Deaton knows that they are in Eichenhaus. It could very well be that he was doing a favor because they mentioned Deaton to him, because Lydia already knows that Deaton has a relationship with him. So if they're going to go that way, then I still think he's evil, and I still agree with you, but it's not as pointed. If he did know, then yeah, wouldn't surprise me one bit if he isn't putting on the steampunk suit himself.
Him, that AP biology teacher, and who else do we have? Oh, and Parrish. Why the hell not?
That works for me too. I'm telling you, evil Parrish is more interesting than this guy. But yeah, I think that is a definite case for Deaton being evil. I tried to explain this to people on Spoiler TV, and they don't agree, and they're probably right. They probably won't make Deaton evil, but I would love if he ended up
Him
being
and
a big
Peter been
bad
working
in
together
season
the
6.
whole damn time. I'm calling it now.
Oh, that would be
I'm calling it
awesome.
right now.
That would be awesome. I love that plan. And they killed Gerard off screen so that they could consolidate their power.
I love it. Make it so, Jeff. Make it so. See, our wall of weird
Please.
conspiracy theories can work out in everybody's favor.
Yep. Oh, I love that plan. Hopefully they go with it.
Do you have your listener feedback stuff together now?
I do, but I have 7 of them
That's
because I
okay.
didn't
Go
narrow them
ahead.
down. All right. Twitter once again blew up with some fantastic snark and a lot of Dylan O'Brien appreciation. I appreciate him too, so I was right there with you. Still, I really liked these ones, mostly because many of them made me laugh. Number 1 this week goes to Claymars Are Us at Clone Poster, and she said, and Valak will finish the next book long before George R.R. Martin finishes his.
Oh, yes.
Brilliant. That was brilliant. I also loved Lyndon Ashby, who plays Sheriff. He said, okay, Parrish, it's fine to have a stamp collection, a coin collection, a car collection. Your collection, however, oh, hell no. Loved it. Susan Walters pretty much said what I was thinking, so giving you some there. Susan Walters plays Lydia's mama and also is married to Lyndon Ashby. And she said, I could watch Dylan O'Brien on screen all day and night. And not in a cougary kind of way, but because
Yep,
he's that
yep,
good.
I agree.
I think we need to really say that.
Yeah, I had that one too.
Oh, yeah. It's always important to explain that you can like someone on screen without it being creepy. Ryan Kelly, who plays Parrish, said, talking to about Psycho, he got off easy as far as I'm concerned. You hurt Styles, and the fans will find you.
He knows.
Yes, he does. At Something's Cookin', that's at SUMFINSCOOKIN, said, Director, make sure you get a good shot of the new Motorola with some of its fancy works even with the bloody fingers features. Which I loved. Teen Wolf Talk, at Teen Wolf Talk, still one of my favorites on the internet. And she said, I'd take the bus too and drive over Theo with it. So would I. So would I. And then at Marina Media, which is MERINOMEDIA, summed up pretty much what I was thinking. Sorry, guys, but it's true. This should be the whole episode. If you're not interacting with Styles, I don't want to see you. It's true. It's true. I'm sorry. I didn't want to see Kira and Scott's whatever it was. I didn't need to see Parrish taking somebody to the Nematon again. I just wanted to see what was happening with Styles and his guilt.
Yeah. For me, Lyndon Ashby said, "Okay, Mr. Smart Guy, maybe the speed limit's not such a bad idea after all."
I have that one too.
Oh God, Lyndon is so freaking hilarious. And then,
Yep, definitely people should follow
Children's
him.
Army said something. I can't. I thought I favored it, but I don't see it. I've got way too much.
Was it about Peter?
Yeah, it was about Peter.
Where he said, maybe Peter was released on good
Yes.
behavior. Yeah, lol, that's fun to joke.
Yes, it was that one.
Yeah, I have that
Same.
one too.
I feel same. As for Reddit, like I told you guys, I'm taking a break from Tumblr for right now. The most interesting thing is one of the official discussions is for episode required reading prediction thread. I stumbled on this because I was looking at Pretty Little Liars theories, and then I spiraled down the rabbit hole. And these guys are good, man. They've got some great stuff on there. They've got a really cool one about, although we know at this point it's not true, but they make a very interesting read. It's about Claudia Stilinski. Is she the Desert Wolf and or a Dread Doctor? That would be so gross if she was the Desert Wolf. That's why I know it's not going to come true. But it's still an interesting read.
Oh no.
So, but then again, Teen Wolf, you know, they might pull a George Lucas. Why not?
No. I would be done. I would just be done.
So yeah, those are the two that definitely were the most interesting. Those three things were the most interesting on there for me. They also have a lot of things about styles. That one is was submitted by Violet Me Fist Blue. This is spelled PHIS. Yeah. So yeah. Tumblr's out for right now. Although I did see some really cool fan art, I couldn't find the original source of it, so I will put it on the Facebook when I find the original source for it.
For me, I like TV Line. The performer of the week was Dylan O'Brien, which I thought was pretty good because they usually pick non-MTV pieces. But I actually read a few reviews this time because my lovely screen cap site didn't have the screen caps posted yet. So I had to go find pictures, and a lot of them came from a lot of reviews. And I thought that they had some really good points in them. Some of them made good points about how we're not getting the answers that we need to get. Lots of them praising Dylan O'Brien, of course. But they made some good points about the pacing. They made some good points about character relevance and screen time. So I thought that the reviews were particularly good this week.
Awesome. You know, we actually never recorded the contact info, so do you mind doing that right now? That way it's just a little easier going forward. You just have to do your
Sure. I
Twitter
don't
stuff.
have the
That's all.
Facebook
I'll do
stuff.
all the Southgate media stuff.
All right. Well, I know Twitter. You mean the
No,
official
no, I'll
Twitter
do all
one?
that stuff. You just do your stuff.
Oh, my stuff. Oh, okay. That's easy enough then.
All right. If you want to get in touch with us, you can contact us via email at teenwolfsmg .smgpod@gmail.com. We are on Twitter at Beacon Hills. Our Tumblr is welcome to beaconhills.tumblr.com. And our Facebook is facebook.com/ welcome to Beacon Hills podcast. If you want to find me on Twitter, I talk a lot of DC comic books and random sci-fi shows at Lilith Hellfire. My personal Tumblr is itslilithhellfire.tumblr.com, and I run a blog that is dedicated to comic book junkies and pop culture phenomenon. You can find me there, littlepopculturevulture.blogspot.com. What about you, Dawn?
Awesome. Our Tumblr is actually at Beacon Hills Pod. So if you're looking for it there, or not our Tumblr, sorry. Our Twitter is actually at Beacon Hills Pod. So you can find us there. My pod. All right. Sorry, I hate making you edit this. I'm editing 100 and it sucks. All right. It just does. Let me start again. All right. And as for me, you can always find me on Twitter. My Twitter is at Don1. That's at DAHNE1. You can also find me on my blog, which is don1.blogspot.com. You can also find me on Spoiler TV, where I write the recaps for Teen Wolf and also do the best scene polls. Best scene polls go up on Tuesdays or Wednesdays, and the recaps should go up on Wednesdays or Thursdays. So hope to see you there and continue the conversation. Also, don't forget to check out southgatemediagroup.com, where we have loads and loads of new podcasts, basically anything you're interested in. I am currently hosting Red Shirted, the 100 podcast. So if you like the CW show, the 100, then please come and find us. We'd love to hear from you. As always, we love your feedback, so thank you very much for anything that you want to give us.
And if you are still on iTunes, which I know a lot of people kind of left in mass exodus, please be sure to find us. Welcome to Beacon Hills Podcast. And rate, review, and subscribe to us to help other pack members find us. Also, while you're there, please be sure to check out our main network, Southgate Media Group, and see what other shows are hot and trending. If you want the full list, please be sure to head over to www.southgatemediagroup.com, where you can find a full list of 80 plus podcasts, as well as weekly blogs and information about all the hosts. Okay, time for episode awards. MVP. MVP? Or should we say MVT, most valuable thing? I think we're going to change that too.
Mine is MVP, and it is Dylan O'Brien, without a doubt. Everything about this episode came down to the fact that he is one of the finest actors of his age.
Okay. They remembered to throw in a bro TP moment and no Liam.
No, Liam is very high on the list, yes. Always. I feel bad because I say it every week.
It's true. Like I said, it's like here, he slows the plot down and it's some subplot that, it's barely relevant.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Holes. That's all I have to say. Holes.
Character of the night?
Styles. Without a doubt.
I'm going to go Stydia.
Oh. So you're going with venereal disease?
No, I mean I like Styles and Lydia together. They were smart and stupid at the same time, but in a teen way that it's a teen show. But I like their interactions together. They got stuff done, whereas the other pairing of the episode basically just electrocuted each other. So
They are my best character interaction, Styles and Lydia. Again, for sure. I mean, there was no question in my mind this time.
best character interactions are Styles, Lydia, and Valak. Like, I just like how Styles is just giving this dude the shifty, shady looks. He's like, no, Lydia, let's play this cool. Let's get some actual answers. Even though they were asking the wrong questions, they were still trying to not just be so gung ho like Scott was with Gerard. So I just appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. Well, it kind of reminded me when they were with Mama Fratelli in Mexico, and they were trying to like be all cool about it. Didn't work them then, but it probably would have used a nice little touch for that here.
Scene of the night?
Styles breaks down in his Jeep.
Malia's epiphany, I guess I'm gonna go with.
Okay.
Notable, quotable.
Basically, the scene where Styles is saying he's going, and Lydia's like, "You don't need to," and Styles says he's going. But since I already read it the whole time earlier, I won't read it again.
Okay, from that particular section, when she's like, he's like, it's my elbow. She goes, it was your shoulder. He's like, pain radiates.
I was almost gonna call that the title. I don't ever recap my or title my recaps, but I was going to title it that because pain radiated through this whole episode. It would have been a better title than Novel Approach.
I'm saying, most memorable moment.
Styles looks into the rearview mirror of his Jeep. I'm telling you, everything Styles, and nothing hurts.
When the hashtag shows up, the doctors are in as the Dread Doctors burst through the Eichen House front door, no less.
That was cool. Yeah, but still, I'd say Creeper's reaction definitely fits in that too.
Do you have any other miscellaneous awards?
I really didn't do a whole lot with miscellaneous, and I didn't get real fancy with them because I took the weekend off.
Okay.
But most in need of a thesaurus? Psycho. Seriously, do you need to say that word over and over and over again? Just shut up. Ugh, very annoying. Oh, the Say What Award? The library has instant access any time of night as long as you have a student ID card. How does that make sense? Come on.
I know!
I'm a librarian. Yeah. I'm a librarian. No. Just no. What the heck was that?
It's not college.
Oh. No kidding. And even in college, they lock the doors sometimes, just not during finals week. Seriously, people. The Bee Gees Award.
Staying alive.
Triclops's Dance Fever head bandages.
Oh my god.
Seriously, it totally looks like he should be rocking the roller skates.
And crickets from everybody under 21.
I'm sorry. Just check out John Travolta in the nifty white suit, and you'll know what I'm talking about. Oh my goodness. He does. He looks like he should be going into the roller derby. Let's see. Most missed, Team Parent.
Oh God, yes.
I really missed them. It really, really was sad that they were not in here at all, especially since, Styles really could use Sheriff's help, and if he doesn't tell his dad, I might smack him. I'm just saying. And then I have the I Don't Think So award. There is no way Mama Fox is letting Kira spend the night at Scott's. I'm sorry. No way. Don't believe 1 second of it.
I know. Okay, mine was, wait, what? Scott gets notified of the animal hospital being broken into? What is he, the co-owner now?
More importantly, why the heck did nobody have this app for their own house? Come on, people.
Deaton has money.
The Supernatural. The Supernatural just traipses along everywhere. I mean, Arjun's apartment might have been broken into by more people than anyone else. So, what the heck? Is it a new app? Come on, people.
I was just like, what? And then that awkward moment award, that awkward moment when your boyfriend boldface lies to you to your face. That!
And badly. Oh, that should be worst trend. Actually, it was worst trend. I think I just didn't say it. So what? Yes, worst trend: keeping secrets, lying, and blaming themselves for everything. None of these need to recur.
Oh, God, they need a supernatural freaking therapy group session.
Not if it brings back morale.
And you know it would.
Yes, I do. So do what Dean does. Just get drunk and, deal with it that way.
Malia, bring the vodka.
Which none of them can get drunk with. Hence what my problem was last episode.
Well, Malia, Lydia and Styles can't.
Fabulous.
Okay, so that brings us to the wrap up. That just about does it for this episode of Welcome to Beacon Hills. We hope you've enjoyed our snarktastic discussion of episode 505, A Novel Approach, and hope to see you back here next week when we discuss 506 required reading.
Yes. So is it going to be the whole episode of them reading? Is it going to be like, I don't know, some detention thing? They all sit in the library and read because, by goodness, we are going to get our money's worth of that set. Oh, Teen Wolf, I love you. I really do. So, and I do love this episode, except for exposition and the lack of action. Anyway, thank you so much for listening to Welcome to Beacon Hills. We'd love to get your opinions, so don't forget to give us feedback. Until next time, remember, secrets suck, even if you're not in Beacon Hills.